Welcome back everyone, time to do another comparison this time around between the newly released Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and a somewhat new budget phone from Samsung. Now, what's really funny is both of these kind of look the same from the front, and there are actually a lot of similarities between the two, but looks can be deceiving, and obviously that doesn't paint the whole entire picture. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 right now costs over $1,000 to pick up, including tax and everything, but give it a couple more months, even a couple more weeks, and that price will go down quite a bit, where the Samsung Galaxy A71 right now you can pick up on Amazon for less than $400, which is a really good price to pay for a phone like this. It doesn't cost a ton, it costs, a very cheap amount for the most part. And for less than $400, it doesn't really get much better than that. Actually, I take that back. There's a lot of phones you can pick up for that price. But if it's between these two, you might already kind of figure out which one might be the better value per dollar. But don't get too ahead of yourself. Calm down a little bit. Now, starting off with the front of these panels, you can see that there's actually a lot of similarities. Like I stated, they both have a whole bunch of displays, which is really cool that Samsung were able to put a whole bunch of display on a budget phone like the A71, even though we've had a whole bunch of displays since like the A51 and I think the A50 last year too, I don't remember. But the Galaxy A71 has a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display. It's 1080p, and for the most part, it's a pretty good looking panel. It definitely isn't the best, I think, when you look over the camera, you may be able to tell like, oh, it looks so similar to the Note 20. That's not necessarily the case, even though they kind of look the same. Like I said before, the Note 20 has a better display overall, but the A71, for what you're getting for that price, is very cool, and I think that's a really cool thing that Samsung was able to put this good of a panel on the Samsung Galaxy S71. You have a fingerprint sensor in the display as well, and like I said, the whole punch display on that camera makes this thing look really cool for sure. Where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 also has a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display, and this one is also 1080p. Now, both of them have 393 pixels per inch, which is very interesting that Samsung did that, because the A71 costs, less than half the price of a brand new Note 20, which is very funny in my opinion. Now, on top of that, the Note 20 has a whole punch display as well, and I think overall the Note 20 looks a little bit better. It kind of has some sharper corners, which I really do like, versus the rounded corners on the A71. Now you can kind of determine which one you like. In my opinion, I think the Note 20 not only looks a little bit better, but I think it also has the better looking display for sure. Now, I think the viewing angles are better, and I just think the quality of the Samsung Galaxy Note 20's panel looks better. It also has that fingerprint sensor in the display. So in terms of the front, you can kind of, get a different opinion than me, but I truly do believe that the Note 20 actually has a better looking display over the Galaxy A71, even though the specs on paper tell otherwise, or even though the specs on paper may say that the Note 20 is better, who knows, they're almost exactly the same. Both have USB Type-C on the bottom, but the A71 does have that headphone jack, which is really cool, so I think that's an awesome thing. Obviously nobody really cares that much anymore, but it still has that capability, which is really awesome. And on the back, you have kind of different setups on both. So you have a triple camera setup on the Note 20 and a quadruple camera setup on the A71. Now, I don't know if the A71's back is glass or plastic. It kind of feels like it's glass, but I'm not like 100% certain, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see. If I had to say, I'm going to say it's 100% glass because it definitely feels like it. Where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has a plastic back that you can tell is plastic. Even if the A71 is plastic, it feels like a really good plastic. The Note 20, I don't know what they were thinking on that device. That thing has like some weird shine, like matte plastic on it that doesn't feel that great. I think if they just put a standard, kind of like shiny type of plastic on it, it would have been a lot better. But this one, when you feel both in the hand, the A71 surprisingly feels better in terms of the back, but the Note 20 just feels like a better built phone overall, because it is a better built phone. It costs a lot more. Samsung, besides the back, spent a lot of time and effort probably on other aspects of this phone, and I truly do think that the Note 20 feels better in the hand than the Samsung Galaxy A71. Another humongous thing to keep in mind is that the A71 has a microSD card slot, which is really awesome for a priced phone like this. To have that capability is really cool. The $1,000 Samsung Galaxy Note 20 does not have a microSD card slot, which is very sad. I was very sad when they said that on stage, and when I found out about it later. I think that's a very weird. I don't know why they were to do that. They did it last year with the Note 10, and I guess they're going to do it this year too, but it would have been really cool had we had some sort of capability with the microSD card slot. Now with the Note 20, on the other hand, we do get IP certification, which is really cool. You do not have any IP certification on the A71, which is very interesting because you would expect it to see some type of IP certification or something, even on a budget phone nowadays, but I guess it is what it is. The Note 20 has IP certification, where the Samsung Galaxy A71 does not have any IP certification at all. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up there in terms of the outside. Now moving on to the software side of things, the the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and the Galaxy A71 are both running Android 10. Now both are running kind of different versions of Android so far. The Note 20 has One UI 2.5. The Galaxy A71 will be getting One UI 2.5 very soon if it already doesn't have it already. And they both came out this year and it's kind of hard to tell which update software lifecycle the A71 is going to be getting. I am kind of in the ballpark that maybe the Note 20 will probably outlast the Galaxy A71 in terms of software. Samsung did say that they're extending their lifecycle support of their devices for 1 year. I'm not too sure if that also includes the A lineup. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We might be getting 2 years of software support on the A71, or maybe an extra year of software support, who knows. But so far I will probably give the impression that the Galaxy Note 20 may actually be lasting longer than the Galaxy A71 in terms of the software standpoint, but they're running the same exact software. They both have the same pros and the same cons. I'm not a fan of One UI 2, so that's a problem for both phones, but I'm not going to take any points off in this comparison or anything. You can always throw a custom launcher on both and everything to kind of get a little bit better there, but in terms of that and in terms of the software, that pretty much covers it up there. Now in terms of the performance, and I did a speed test, you can kind of look at it while I'm talking. The Samsung Galaxy A71 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 processor, an octa-core CPU, and 6 gigs of RAM on the bottom model, and 8 gigs of RAM on the top tier model, where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 650 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM on that only model that it's supported. Now, as you can see, for the most part, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 is beating every single time the A71. Now, the A71 I think is a pretty good performing phone for a brand new type of phone that it is. It's a budget phone. It's not supposed to necessarily be competing with the new top tier Note 20s and all those things, but it's still very interesting to see how the A71 is able to fare against the Note 20. Now, the Note 20 is one of the most smooth and fastest Android phones I've ever used. I still feel like maybe the S20 is a little bit smoother here and there, but it's a very fast, spontaneous phone. As soon as you click on it, it's pretty much, there. If you click on, Facebook, it's open. If you click on Temple Run, it's open. So I think that's a really, really good thing that the Samsung Note 20 has going for it. But for $1,000, I don't know if there's, necessarily twice the performance you're getting from the A71, but you're definitely getting a better performing phone for the most part, and you're getting a smoother phone from the A71. So I'll let you guys kind of be the judge of that, but in my opinion, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 definitely is the better performing phone than the Samsung Galaxy A71 when it comes down to it. Now moving on to the camera setup, you have a triple camera setup on the Note 20, a 12 megapixel wide, 64 megapixel telephoto, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, where the Samsung Galaxy A71 has a 64 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro, then a 5 megapixel depth lens. And what I can tell you is that between both, obviously the Note 20 is a winner here. You can do 4K at 60 on the Note 20. You can't do 4K at 60 on the A71. But not only that, you have the ability of shooting 8K video on the Galaxy Note 20 as well. The A71 does not have that capability, which is kind of sad in my opinion, but I still think the A71 is good enough for the most part. They just threw in a bunch of camera sensors on it to make people think it was better, and I think it does add some more capability, but definitely when it comes down to it, there's no competition at all. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 is by far the better camera setup, and I think it pretty much speaks for itself. On the front, 10 megapixel sensor on the Note 20, 32 megapixel sensor on the A71, and you might just assume the A71 is better. It's not the case at all. The Note 20, you can do 4K at 60, and it is a better looking camera overall than the A71 in my opinion. So in terms of that really pretty much covers it up for the most part. Now ending it off with the battery life, you have a 4300 mAh battery on the Note 20 and a 4500 mAh battery on the A71. Now battery life I think may be better on the A71, but I do feel like that the Note 20, with that ability of having wireless charging and reverse wireless charging, makes the Note 20 that much better of a phone. The A71 I think is great and everything, but I do think the Note 20 with those two capability makes it that much more of appealing of a device than the Samsung Galaxy A71 in my opinion. Now to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question and everything, which phone should you pick up? In my opinion, I truly do think that you guys should pick up the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. It is the better device in pretty much every single angle. It's more expensive, yeah, but it is the better device, and it really just makes sense for you guys to go pick that one up for sure. Now with the Galaxy A71, for a budget device, it's a really good budget device in my opinion. It brings a lot to the table. It's fairly cheap. It is a budget phone technically speaking, and I think overall, if you were to spend the money on a Galaxy A71, it's definitely going to do you better overall than spending that much money on the Note 20. But ultimately, the choice is yours, and I'll let you guys figure out which one you want. But in my opinion, I think I would rather pick up a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 than the A71, but the A71 price per dollar, I think is a better value than the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 in my opinion. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.
Bye.